Y'all, I just filmed this entire video and I went to stop recording and I never hit record to begin with. So there went about 30 minutes of my life that I'll never get back. So let's try this again. Hi friends, it's Holly Jones. Welcome to Flosstube number 60. Today is Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, and I'm happy you're joining me today. If you're new to my channel, this is a channel about cross stitch, things I'm working on, plans I'm making, things I've finished, and lots of color conversions. So welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And now I just have deja vu, so we're just gonna start all over. Man, I can't believe I did that. I've never done that before. All right, well, here we go. So, all right, we are in full swing of summer. We actually leave for vacation tomorrow. We are going to Rapid City, South Dakota to visit my family. And on the way up, we're driving through Colorado. So I've been to Colorado, I think twice, and we really didn't get to stay very long. It was kind of just passing through maybe for like an overnight. And so we're gonna go do some Colorado things, and Parker wants to see the mountains. So we're gonna go and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna go up that way. I think we'll spend like 2 or 3 days kind of driving up that way, and then we'll spend several days in Rapid City before coming home. So we are really excited. I kind of wanted to film a video because I didn't want it to be 2 more weeks before I filmed. So I wanted to get this done today. Usually I have a huge page of notes, and I did not this time. This is just some stuff kind of written down on a notebook, and we are winging it. One thing I wanted to do this video is I've seen a lot of people doing mid-year whip parades, and I don't really have a lot of whips at one time. I usually have about 2 or 3. And so I decided that I was going to do a mid-year finish parade where I was going to show you all the things I've finished so far this year. Let's see what else. I've had a lot of people, I posted on my Instagram that I will be part of the Flosstube at Sea in 2027. We are leaving out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida in February of 2027, and it will be me and Jean Farish and Sherry from Colorado Cross Stitcher. We are so excited. I cannot wait. We're gonna have the best time. I've already been thinking about what I want to do for like my class, like a make and take, and working on my presentation that I'm going to be giving. So I really hope that you consider joining. We're gonna have a great time. I think it's like 8 days. So I'm going to bring my husband with me, and we're just gonna have a fantastic time. And there will be more information coming out. I think in October is when signups are, and it will have all the destinations that we're cruising to, and we're just gonna have a great time. So I love cross stitch retreats and I love cruises. I've been on like 5 of them, and they are a blast. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. Also, I'm so close on both my Instagram and my Flosstube of 10,000 followers on Instagram and 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you don't already like and follow on both platforms, please consider doing that. I'm going to be doing a big 10K giveaway on each platform. So I'll have different items once I hit 10,000 on Instagram up for grabs, and then I'll have probably a whole nother Flosstube episode that's nothing but giveaways. So I hope you can help me reach my goal, and thank you guys so much for your support. I've been filming videos now for I want to say maybe about 3 years, 4 years-ish. I did not film super consistently to begin with, but now I really try to film consistently about every week, sometimes every 2 weeks. And I love this community. It's so supportive. I love seeing what everybody's working on. And I'm just really grateful to be a part of it. So thank you guys so much for your friendship and your support. Let's see, we're just gonna hop right into it. I will show you my whip progress. I've only been working on one thing the past couple weeks, and this is why I don't do a lot of cross stitch planning, because my plan for July was to do Christmas in July, and I really wanted to start this Holly and Hearts sampler by Lizzie Kate. This is available on 123 Stitch. It's a 3-part series. That was my plan, and then I was like, no. So after I put away Mary Bovey, I decided to pick up one of my other whips, and I did not iron this, so please forgive me. Where's my board? I picked up Gifts of the Season by Blackbird. This was one of the market releases, and it's one of the ones I started this March after it was released. And originally, when I put it down, I had pretty much this entire basket here done. I did not have these 3 flowers up here, and I had the top of the house up to about here. So in the last week, I got the bird done. I got these 3 flowers, this motif, and pretty much this entire left side. I did stitch some of the border. And one of the things I really like, and I'm going to show you this, I was stitching these kind of little motifs here. I don't want to call them snowflakes. I don't really think they look snowflakey, but I was stitching these, and originally I was a little upset because my floss was looking a little ghosty. But then the more I stitched, I kind of got to thinking about it. And I mean, we can be honest here. This big flower pot here in the house, this is the focal point of the piece. There is, you know, some negative space up here. And one of the things I really like, that I'm stitching this with Cozy Sweater by Color and Cotton, and it really is similar to this fabric. But I kind of like it because I feel like it's adding some texture. It's filling up some space, but it's not distracting and taking you away from the big piece. One of the things I like is whenever I look at a piece, I like to see all the details. And these would have been really easy just to leave out or to stitch in another color. But I'm really loving the tone on tone because I feel like it adds something special without taking away from the other flowers that are on the piece. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, one of the other kind of boo-boos I made on this piece, and I don't know if you'd even be able to notice it, but I notice it, and I promise once I point it out, you'll notice it too. Sometimes when I pull my flosses for a piece and I put something aside, I'm like, oh, I really need that color. And then I use it for a different piece, and then, you know, I end up putting stuff away. And I put away the pink that I stitched my house in, and I thought I got the right one out, and I didn't. So you can clearly see on my house where I used this really light pink to begin with, and then the pink I pulled, how it is darker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my stash, and I'm going to find this pink, and I'm just going to use this light pink and the dark pink on the house. I feel like so many threads have, you know, modeling and variegation to it that I'm just going to use both of them. And I don't care if it looks a little, you know, gradient-ish. It's just going to be fine. Old Holly would have probably just thrown this entire piece away and started over, but New Holly is not. We're going to power through because a finish is a finish, and I worked really hard on this for the last couple weeks, and I don't want to pick it all out because that's a lot of stitches to pick out, and it'll be fine. So we are just going to keep plowing through, and we are going to work towards a finish on this piece. I think this house will be really good fill-in. I have to stitch 2 more windows right here, but this will be really good car fill-in, so I'm going to keep working on it despite the fact that my house is 2 colors. So, oh well. Not my first mistake, and I'm sure it will not ever be my last mistake. So here is the full piece. So basically it's just mirrored. It's the same motifs on both sides, so that will be easy car stitching. Okay. What else? I have a little bit of haul. I'm not gonna really like take a deep dive in. I joined the Be Stitch Me Fabric of the Month. I can't remember if I showed this in my previous video or not, but this is wet sand. which I really love this. It is quite a bit of modeling, but I'm gonna try it out. It feels really nice. It has a really nice feel to it. I got a piece of extra color and cotton. This is called Pickle Juice. It is 32 count. It is a really pretty chartreuse lime green. I think this would be really pretty for Halloween stitching, so I'm probably gonna save it for something for Halloween. But also I love this green, and I think it'd be really pretty with something watermelon-ish stitched on it. I've seen a lot of people stitching the primrose, the fruit salad or fruit basket primrose stuff, and I think this would look really, really pretty with one of those stitched on it. I also joined the Grace Notes Fabric of the Month Club, and this color this is my first one from them. It's called Angelite. Again, 32 count linen. It is a really pretty kind of blue gray, and it's got some really nice modeling. I have no plans for this piece yet. I just thought it was really pretty. It kind of reminds me of like a winter sky, if that makes sense. Not really bright blue, not really gray, just a really pretty blue gray with some just really nice modeling that reminds me of clouds. Okay, then I placed a color and cotton order. I did order one of their new shirts with their logo on it. It's so cute. I did a pre-order for that. That came this last week. I would show it to you, but it's already packed in my suitcase because I did all my packing last night. And then I ordered some of their new floss. They had a bunch of new colors, and so I jumped on that wagon and added to cart. I'll go over some of these real quick. Sweet Peach. I love this. I want yards and yards and yards of this. This really kind of goes with my kind of prim pastel aesthetic that I really like. Perfect for Blackbirds. And then I ordered a variety of kind of golden yellows. I'll hold them all together. They're very similar when I feel like when you kind of look at them all. But this is Golden Doodle, Cornbread, Pancake, Honey Butter, and Lion's Mane. But just a lot of really nice kind of gold, soft, buttery yellows. I'm a sucker for green. I love green floss. And this is called River's Edge. This is a really dark kind of olive green, and I love it. I ordered 2 of this color called Galapagos. I ordered 2 of Red Currant Jam. I ordered 3 of Pretty in Pink, which totally, this would be great for Blackbirds as well. And then I ordered this one called Satin, which is kind of a mauve-y color. Now, typically what I do whenever Color and Cotton releases like limited edition or special edition colors is I will order more than one. I do that because chances are I'm gonna like it. I don't order every single color that's released. I tend to go, oh my gosh, like I really love that pink or that peach or the green or blue or whatever color I'm adding. And I'll buy multiple skeins of it because once it's gone, usually it doesn't come back. So I want to make sure that I have enough for a couple projects. So it's usually why I order multiples. Okay, let's start the mid-year whip parade. So one of the things, my very first thing I started on for 2025 was my blessing sampler. And this is The Winter Is Past by Blackbird Designs. And the original piece here is got a lot of greens and blues and grays in it. And I originally was going to stitch it in that same colorway. So I pulled my fabric and I started pulling all my flosses, and I just could not get the color palette down to something that I was pleased with. So what I did was I decided to scrap that and just pick colors that spoke to my heart. So this is what I came up with. I did lots of pinks and reds for the tulip border, and I did not do a direct color substitution. And what I mean by that is, let's say the called for color was Oscar. I didn't sub out Oscar for mesquite in every, every place that it's called for. I kind of just went where the wind took me, so to speak. So like I wanted red tulips, I wanted light pink tulips, I wanted mauve tulips, I wanted dark pink tulips. I wanted some of the same tulips together. And I'm really happy with how this turned out. I also love blue. I love blue a lot. And so I did all my birds in blue. I did my alphabet. This is about 4 different blues in the birds and the alphabet. I did the border here in gold and the lines here in gold, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. Color and Cotton was selling floss packs in the same colorway that were available for purchase. I believe they're all sold out now, but I've seen a lot of people buy the floss palette, and then some people just kind of pull your own color conversion that's similar to what I did. So thank you guys so much for your great response and how much you love the piece, because I love this piece as well. I actually have a really kind of another fun one that I'm wanting to do probably for next year, and I think it might be my blessing sampler for next year, but I want to start stitching it and kind of see if it works before I say what I'm going to do. But I think it's going to be really pretty, and I hope it's as big of a hit as this one was, because I haven't seen anybody else doing what I want to do with this certain chart. So maybe other people have, but I'm really excited for it. So stay tuned for that. I'd like to start that like really soon, but I think I'm going to hang on to it and let it be my blessing sampler for next year. Okay, so the second thing I worked on is Snow Garden, and this is by Blackbird. This is part of the Anniversaries of the Heart series, and I did another color conversion on this piece as well. So here is my piece. This is 32 count frog gray, and the called for house I think was kind of gray and blue, and I did mine in a red and a pink. I also did a pink floral border here. I did white border here on the side. I did a blue peacock, and I love this piece. It's so pretty and it's so different. I obviously haven't fully finished it yet. I wasn't sure if I was going to turn it into a pillow or if I was going to frame it, so to be determined. Okay, after that, what did I work on? I usually make a lot of notes when I film my Flosstube, and like I said, today was kind of like I really want to film before we go on vacation, because otherwise it'll be a couple weeks before I get to film again, and I didn't want it to be that long, so I didn't make as many notes. And so for this whip parade, I'm just kind of referencing my Instagram and kind of going in chronological order. So the next thing I stitched was part of a stitch along with several friends, Sarah from Sarah Stitchery, Allison, AllieCat13, and there were a whole lot of other people who joined in, and I'm just blanking on it right now. But we stitched Lizzie Kate Things Unseen. This pattern is available from 123stitch.com. It is a 3-part series. So what I did was I picked colors that were similar to the called for, but were a color and cotton conversion. And I'm so happy with how this turned out. So I'd actually started this piece like 2 or 3 times, and I'd get bored or I'd mess up and just kind of toss it aside. But this time, stitching with friends really held me accountable, and I kind of just plowed right through. So I did personalize the piece. This bottom row had some flowers, and in these kind of rectangles here, it had a couple of these kind of quilt blocks. So I decided to personalize it. I changed it to say the Jones family and established in 2016, and I really loved doing that to the piece. I did add on some vintage buttons from my stash and these kind of gold scissors, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was so fun stitching with friends. It was really fun to see kind of what everybody else is working on and everybody else's progress as well. So it was really fun, and I'm so glad, because I really loved this piece and wanted it done for a while, but it was just never something that was a really high priority for me. So once I saw so many people stitching along, I was like, now's my time. Now's my time. We're gonna do it. Okay, so after that, what did I stitch on next? Let's scroll through Instagram and see what I did after that. Oh, after that, I did a Blackbird Design Smiles Exchange, and I stitched this piece right here for my dear friend Lori Millsap. She is on Instagram as Island Time Quilting or Island Time Stitching, but she has a Flosstube too with her daughter Mallory, and it is great. This piece is from the Our Lasting Friendship book. And no, I'm sorry. It's called Shepherd's Bush Pin Cushion. Yes. Okay. Oh, it is from Our Lasting Friendship book. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Anyway, I did my own color and cotton color conversion on this, and I was really happy with how it turned out. After that, I stitched Wildflower Guide from Blackbird. I did my own color conversion for it as well. And here it is. These are like some of my favorite frames. They come from Hobby Lobby. This is a kind of a sage green, and I love the beaded fillet. It is so pretty. I've seen this pattern done several times. I believe Jessica, the Sweetwater Stitcher, stitched it for one of my Blackbird exchanges maybe last year, and I love it so much. I love greens and pinks and reds, and it was right up my alley. Okay, so then after that, what came next? Swan Lake by Blackbird. Whoops, where is it? Oh, here we go. So Swan Lake. And when I first saw this pattern, did I take a picture of the original? I don't think I did. When I first saw this pattern, it has a very much like a winter vibe to it. It's like got navy blue and cream and white in it. It's really pretty. But again, when I saw the pattern, the first thing that obviously my eyes locked on were these swans. And in my head, I just kept thinking pink swans, pink swans, pink swans. I wanted pink swans. So this was inspired, the color palette to me was inspired by the show Bridgerton. I don't know if you've ever watched Bridgerton or not, but they have a lot of blue in their house, and we affectionately call it Bridgerton blue. And so I did a blue house, and I did the greenery around here is that's mesquite from Color and Cotton. And then one of the things I did was which is just the green border, but I went in and I did a bunch of French knots in a really pretty lilac color, and to me it kind of reminded me of wisteria. So I took the piece, and with the pink swans and the little wisteria knots, I added some really cute little decorative pins that my friend Sharon, I believe Sharon made these and sent them to me, and they're just really pretty. They add just the perfect amount of sparkle. And then I put our last initial and our year that we got married down here. But I really love this. I did just a really pretty blue and pink floral on the back with some lady dot chenille in the color Ballet Slipper. And this sits in our double on our dresser in our bedroom. Okay, after that, I stitched Quaker Family Register, also by Blackbird, because I am doing a year of Blackbird stitching. Blackbird was my focus for 2025, and that means different things to different people. When I say I'm doing a year of Blackbird, oh, I forgot one out of order. I'll get to that one in a minute. But I'm focusing on Blackbird. I am still stitching other things in between, but I really wanted to focus and get a lot of Blackbirds done this year. So this is Quaker Family Register. I've never done anything like this before. This is so special. I stitched all these flower motifs, and then I decided that I wanted to personalize it with my family. And that meant doing some research and doing some genealogy research. And I was able to trace my family history and genealogy back to, I don't know, really far, like 5 or 6 generations. So this is my dad's side of the family. They were from Elk Point, South Dakota. And so I did my grandpa's initials here and my grandma's initials here with her maiden name. They got married November 29th, 1949. And then they had 9 children, and I stitched, so my aunts and uncles, I stitched all their initials. So we have R.E., H.B., S.T., my dad, S.A., my Aunt Laurie, L.J., my Uncle Todd, T.M., my Aunt Mimi, M.S., my Uncle Craig, and my Aunt Paula, P.J. So this piece was really special. Like I said, I've never done anything like this before, and it was really neat to go back and go through my family history and kind of stitch this for them. And one thing, I have a picture, I need to attach it to the back, but what I want to do is I have a family picture from when my dad was a child, and it's my grandma and grandpa, and it has like all of their kids together. And so I want to take that picture and get a copy made and stick it on the back here along with everybody's names. But anyway, really, really special piece. Okay, now, and one thing else, I'll just share this really quick. One of the other things that I think was really special, here it is. So I went back and I just found this on like Pinterest, and it was just a family tree with names and stuff. And so I went back pretty far, but and like when I started down here, like I started with my parents, so it's not even like me and then my mom and dad. Like this is like my dad and then, you know, his mom and his dad, which I wasn't able to go back very far here, but I went back to 1836. So it'd be my dad's grandparents, great grandparents, and then same on my mom's side. One of the things that I thought was really special about doing this was I see so many old samplers that have, you know, names on them, and you know, I can only, you know, stitch Jones established 2016 so many times, or my initials. So I thought it was really special when I did this research that now I have more family names that I can incorporate into my pieces, and maybe do a little bit more research and find out, you know, who they were, what they liked, what, you know, things like that. So I'm really looking forward to, because I've got some beautiful names in here, and now they mean something because I know that it's my, you know, great grandmother, things like that. So and I didn't subscribe to anything. I used some free genealogy search engines. I honestly would just type in names and kind of see what popped up and where they were from, and I was able to trace stuff back that way. So okay, one of the other things, and I stitched this around Valentines for the Valentines kind of love dough bowl that I keep on my dresser, and this is a Blackbird. It says 2 hearts stitched as one. So I did an aqua heart and a red heart, and then I used the same fabric on the back here that I did for Swan Lake, and they all sit together in this big dough bowl on my dresser. Okay, after that, what did I stitch? What did I stitch after that? That's when I started Gifts of the Season. Okay, and then after Gifts of the Season, one of my dear friends loaned me a Blackbird book that I've been looking for called Vintage Inspiration. And I stitched this right here. This is called Lovebird's Pinkeep. And the original was done in blues and I think browns. And I, you know, gave it a holly-ish color palette. And I was really happy with how it turned out. I also did kind of one of these bulb safety pins with a charm and a couple buttons on it. And then I did a blue gingham here on the back and some trim. This is the colorway. I think it's called Vintage Chenille by Lady Dot. So I really love this. And I have, you know, my initial right here as well. Okay. After that, I participated in the birthday stitch along for our friend Tara Sullivan, Sully Stitches. And we did this piece, and this is a daily reminder by Brenda Gervais. This was a market release this year. I stitched mine on a piece of color and cotton, and it did not have a name. It was just a solo dye lot that my friend Hannah picked up for me when she went to the shop, and it's a really pretty kind of brown gray color. I've never seen anything like it before, but I was really happy with how it turned out. I did stitch this with color and cotton floss, except my house I stitched in Cosmo 835. Now, somebody pointed out something to me last night, as a matter of fact, and she had said on my Instagram on one post that it said 853, and then my other post it said 835, and that is a total Uh-oh, on my part, I got the numbers transposed. So it is 835. But anyway, I was really happy with how this turned out. I really love this kind of vintage distressed looking frame. And this is the first time that I stitched a ton of Smyrnas to spell out letters. I've never done that before. And Old Holly would have just stitched them like with X's, but we're trying new things. So I was really happy with how this turned out. And I actually think there's another Sal going along with this right now for someone else's birthday. Excuse me, I'll have to think about who it was. But anyway, lots of people were stitching this and it was really fun to work on. Okay. After that, I stitched Maggie May, and I actually gave that to my mom for Mother's Day. So Maggie is living down the street at her new house. I'll show you a picture of her right here. Whoops, there she is. Here in Oklahoma, we see a lot of brown bunnies, a lot of field rabbits. So I did my bunny in Spool by Color and Cotton, I believe. Is that what I used? Hot tea. Okay, and she has a really pretty green sweater and a pink dress with little tiny flowers. So cute. I used some Tilda fabric for her backing, and I loved working on it. Then after that, I started Mary Bovey, which in my previous video, we put her away for a little while. She's in timeout. And then isn't it funny too, how whenever you work on something, you remember where you were when you worked on it. So I stitched this piece the day my husband was having his hip replacement. I sat in the waiting room for like 6 hours. His surgery was delayed and they took him back, and then it got delayed. So of course I wasn't able to go back. So I just started stitching, and this is from the Chock Full, the jar series. This was just one of the small extras that comes with it, and it says Liberty, and I stitched this on straw gingham, 32 count, with Color and Cotton flosses, and I was really happy with how it turned out. The whole series she did was stitched on Slate by Fabrics by Stephanie, so it kind of has a chalkboard look. And I didn't want to stitch on black because I wasn't sure what the lighting in the waiting room would look like, so I went with this, and I was really pleased with it. So I definitely want to stitch more on this gingham fabric. Okay, after that I stitched America by Emily Call, and this is not a new chart. It's been out for a little while. My foot fell asleep. I was sitting funny. I did do a Color and Cotton conversion on this as well. Really love how this turned out. I think it took me just a couple days, but it was so fun. Here's the back. It's just kind of got some navy blue fabric with navy blue stars, and then I did a bow with some kind of satin seam binding ribbon and another bulb finish with a star and some buttons, and I did a little kind of pin up here to attach the ribbon and some red chenille. Okay, then after that, I stitched Ribbons and Bows, also from Emily Call. And this is another chart that I did something kind of different with. The original chart, it was stitched on like white linen, and it had pink and red bows on it, and it was so cute. I thought it'd be so precious for like a little girl's room, but I decided to put a patriotic twist on it and stitch it in red, white, and blues. So I picked some colors that kind of coordinated well together. This linen is, I think it's 32 count gray by Weeks, and I was really happy with how it turned out. I did a patriotic fabric on the back here, along with some lady dot trim and some buttons from Just Another Button Company. And then I had this little bronze kind of bow charm. I just kind of tucked it in there, but this has been sitting out. I keep my patriotic out all summer, so it's been sitting on my tiered tray in the living room. I have one of those like 5 feet tall tiered trays from Hobby Lobby. I have one in my living room, and then I have one over here in my corner in my craft room. And I love decorating those seasonally. It is so much fun just to tuck little things in there, and that way too, I don't have, it's all contained to like one, tiered tray, and I don't have just stuff everywhere, because that makes me kind of, I don't like it. Okay, what did I stitch on after that? After that, I worked on these pillows. These were from Crafty, Bluebonnet, April Jackson. And I showed these either in my previous video or the one before that. But I did a color conversion on this, and this is 3 different blues to kind of give like a gradient look here. I did use a vintage button and some Tilda fabric along with some vintage lace. And this is stuffed with walnut shells. The other one, and this one's probably my favorite, I love this finish. This is 1776 with some more Tilda fabric and some vintage lace. So they actually have been sitting on this dresser behind me, and they kind of sit together. I did some vintage silk seam binding up here with another bow and a pin. And I just really love this one. I love how tall and skinny it is. Okay. After that, I stitched, and this is my last patriotic one for the year. This is Americana Trifles from Shepherd's Bush. Grand Old Flag, Long May She Wave. And I did some Bonnie and Camille fabric, or I guess Camille now, fabric on the back. And love it. Love, love. All right. I think that is all of my finishes so far this year. Now, I did have a couple other whips that I didn't show because they are not done. Oh, I did have one more. I wanted to be part and participate in the Spooky Summer Sale from Tara Sullivan from Sully Stitches. And there's a lot of people who are doing Spooky Summer. So I stitched this from Blackbird, October 31st. I also stitched this on 32 count straw gingham, which is the same thing that I stitched this on. And I used Coloring Cotton Shadow, which is a really pretty kind of charcoal color. It's got a lot of really good variegation in it. So I want to finish this on a paper mache box, but I went to Hobby Lobby, and the smallest paper mache box that I could find was 5 inches, and this is just slightly bigger. So I might have to order something, maybe like a 6-inch one if I can find one on Amazon, or if I can find something else. But anyway, I'm not in a hurry to finish this. It'll be fine. What else? I had one more. Oh, I had a couple other things, and I didn't FFO them yet. This is called Sugar Plum Fairy. It is from a Blackbird book. This is supposed to be finished in a strawberry, and I just haven't finished it yet. I'm intimidated by strawberry finishes, despite reading like 100 tutorials on them. I know I can do it. I really love the colors, and I love the fabric, so I really don't want to mess it up. But that was another finish I had. And then one of my other ones, and I cannot wait to get this FFO'd. I'm going to have this framed. This is Fleur de Noel. Whoops. Okay, there we go. Fleur de Noel from JBW Designs. And I stitched this using a lot of the colors that I used for a daily reminder. I still had my floss on the card, and I loved how it all looked, so I just kind of used the same ones and did a color conversion on this as well. So I'm actually working on Fleur de Alphabet right now, and it's really coming along nicely. I'm doing it in like pink, like a light coral pink and maybe a darker coral pink. I'm trying out some Roxy Flossco floss for that, and it's so pretty. So I've been working on that. I don't have a lot to really share right now with it, but anyway, I want to get this framed. I'm just having a hard time trying to decide what color frame to use, because this fabric that I stitched on is Vintage Smoky White by Zweigart, and I think a white frame would kind of wash it out. So I may get a frame and then paint it, maybe like a light pink or a light blue, but I definitely think the frame needs some color to it since it's stitched on such a light fabric. So anyway, that is where I'm at so far for 2025. Not bad. I hope to get some of these other pieces fully finished here in the next couple months, but I'm not in a rush. I would much rather take my time and pick out like just the right finish, just the right frame, instead of just kind of willy-nilly throwing it in a frame or something and then hating it. So it doesn't really bother me that stuff is like unfinished. It's stitched, so I'm counting it as a finish. But yeah, that is what I have so far. All right, friends, I don't have any giveaways today just because I won't be able to get stuff in the mail in a timely manner. So I will leave the comments and stuff open from my last video where you can still enter. I'll draw for those when I come back for Flosstube number 61. But thank you guys so much for watching, for liking the video, subscribing. If you would like to help me get to 10K, I would sure love that. Please like and subscribe to the video, and we will be doing a big 10K celebration on Flosstube and on Instagram once that happens. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I hope you guys have a great summer, and I will see you in a couple weeks. Happy stitching.